And what is that one thing? What is the most important part of the game of golf? Is it the backswing? Hell no. I mean, we've all played sports. If I'm throwing a football, I'm not thinking what I'm doing going backwards. In fact, as I load, I actually step. So at the top of my load, I'm already up my front foot. Would you agree with that? You don't rear back over here and sit way back on your right side. As you load, you step. You know, if you're tennis, as you load the racket, you step. So the top of our load, we already got more weight up on our front foot than our back foot. As poor golfers have been taught to turn our hips, David, get our weight back into our back foot, and that's the beginning of the end. Because if our weight gets up into our back foot, we never can get to our front foot. If you're in the ring and you're facing one of these guys, you don't want to be backpedaling. You're staying forward, and as you load, you're still staying forward. So golfers, the urge is like skiing going down a mountain. Our urge is to move away from the mountain. We've got to keep the ski poles in front of us, keep the weight facing down the mountain, and attack the mountain with vengeance, because if you're afraid and you're moving away from the mountain, it's not good. You cannot create an edge. Golf's the same way. Our urge is that this club has what you call loft, L-O-F-T, right? Loft is the only medium that gets the ball in there. This is, any lefties here?
Yeah.
Okay, so reverse everything. This is your front foot, this is your back foot. If there is something to think about, is that the left foot, because we don't take a step. What is your first name?
Earl.
Earl, we didn't shake hands, did we? Good to see you, man. Welcome, brother. Because we don't take a step in golf, we're not Happy Gilmore. As we're loading the club, we don't take a step. But yet every other sport we take a step. Racket sports, football, that type of thing. I mean, alignment, if you're a lineman, you don't want to be caught back here. Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. You've got a lot of oomph coming at you, so you have to be in a position to face resistance. Would you agree with that? The problem is, Gary, we don't view the golf ball as a resistant force. We just think it's a little ball, and then we can be in different places, and we'll be able to hit the ball. If I took an axe and I was going to chop that pine tree down, that's a resistant force. Would you agree? So I pick up the axe. Do I stand there and say, okay, keep a straight left arm, tuck my right arm? Hell no, I just get that axe, and I put my hands and arms in what I feel is the most powerful position to hold an axe, which is probably 5 or 10 pounds. Would you agree? Look. But your golfers are taught to have straight left arm. See, I rock the boat with a lot of stuff. Okay? Straight left arm, tuck the, that's why the Golf Channel fired me. Because they felt like I was too non-golf. And they wanted the typical golf. Okay, and my name wasn't David Ferry. You know what David Ferry said about Rory McIlroy a couple of years back? He had a wrist injury. And David Ferry stood up on the Golf Channel and said, that's strange why Rory would have a left wrist problem. That should be at the strongest part of his body at 22. And everybody thought he was funny. If I'd done that, they would have fired me then too. Okay? So again, if I pick that axe up, I'm getting ready for that tree, right? Right? And so I'm getting ready for the look at my hands and arms. That really feels powerful. Now, and I certainly wouldn't try and chop that tree down with my feet together. I'd get some balance, so I'd have to get some space between my feet. Almost like you look at the Eiffel Tower. The French were smart enough to build the Eiffel Tower larger at the bottom than the top. Even the French. You like some of their cheeses and stuff, right? So now I'm getting ready to cut the tree down. And as I'm loading the axe, I don't rear back here, do I? I mean, I'm not going to make contact with that tree. I'm getting ready. So as I load, you can see how there's no weight displacement. The left heel doesn't come up. The right knee's not twisting around. I'm not shifting to the outside of my feet. And that's the problem. You've got to look at all these athletic endeavors of power and balance to understand how to implement those into the game of golf. Does that make sense, Dave? Because let me tell you something. When you take that club back and you're going to move and hit that golf ball, there's a certain amount of hitting down and through every shot. And if you've turned your hips and you've reared back and got back here, which is the urge in golf, because they've also taught us that, you're in a position where you can only hit up. And you can only come over the top of the ball. So there's a lot of this stuff happening. I mean, let me tell you something. We should fly the flag at half-mast for the average golfer. Seriously, and have a moment's silence. Because we put ourselves through a lot of unnecessary pain. It's because we've fallen into this trap of belief, the belief system that all these golfers, and every one of them, by the way, has different advice. That's why these golf pros go from one golf teacher to another, to another, to another. It can't be that complex. So with that in mind, if I'm going to chop the tree down, I'm feeling powerful in my hands and arms. I'm not interlocking my hands. I'm not overlapping. I've got 10 fingers on the axe. Would you agree? Maybe I've got the thumb down there as well, as opposed to just like this, thinking about golf. And I deliver. And at the moment of impact, when I hit that tree, I can tell you my chest is way up here and my arms are fully loaded. You all see that, guys? If my body, Brett, went backwards and stayed back, the only way I could get the axe to the tree is if my arms grew to reach out. Would you agree with that? Now, if my upper body's not there and my arms and hands are straight, Gary, would you say that there's severe power loss? Yeah. Severe power loss. So think about that with golf. Right. There's the ball. What we want to do is we want to make sure that as we load, that we don't shift all the way over. There's no weight displacement. In other words, if I've got 50-50 in my lower body, as I load at the top of my swing, I still feel 50-50. I don't feel like weight has come off my front foot and I'm rearing back, because I want to feel like, in fact, if anything, I feel a little more forward pressure. Getting, Hogan always had that forward-looking pressure, because that's where you're going, right? So I'm feeling that forward pressure. I'm loading. My right knee hasn't moved. My left foot hasn't come off the ground. It's like I'm getting ready to hit that tree, strike the tree. Now all I'm doing from here is taking my chest and delivering. You see my chest is here? Now all of a sudden, look, my chest's over here. My arms and hands are fully loaded, which is where the power is. And when I make contact, there's lots of lag in the right arm there, lots of lag in the right wrist. I was doing this clinic in Little Rock, Arkansas. I said, you know what, guys? I said, it's like spanking an ass. You'd never be back on your back foot. You'd never flip your hand like this. You'd be in the ultimate position. You'd be spanking the ass with lots of lag and security in the right arm. So one guy says, that's it. He says, I'm heading home and I'm going to wear my wife out all the neighborhood. So I give everybody my card, and about a week that goes by and I get an email from him. Dear Wayne, golf game still stinks, but my sex life's never been better. So that's sort of it. I've given you a little bit of the breakdown of the urges, of how golfers tend to rear back, of, the ball is stationary. We tend to twist our bodies all over the place. We're worrying about our hands and arms. Do we take it back in one piece? Do we set the club a little earlier? We're worried about the backswing. The good news is there may not even be a thought of a backswing. We know we have to go back to come forwards. So if the mindset is thinking more on how you need to be from the ball to the finish, that's positive. If our minds are thinking what we need to do going backwards, we'll never get to the finish. Okay, so really what we want to do, if Brett and I come up, put your hands up against there, we're going to push each other. Get ready. Okay, you see how he's getting ready? Because he's bigger and stronger than I am, but he knows that I'm also quite strong. And look at, we're both getting ourselves in position, aren't we? We're getting ourselves ready. You got leverage. Leverage. You see, that's leverage. So golfers, hey, we need leverage. So what we try and do is get people understanding how to get themselves, as opposed to, the old story with golf, having a little more weight on your right foot than your left, and sitting back here because that's what we want to get up, going up here, and then we turn back here and we never ever get to our front foot. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the drills, there's drills and ideas around that can help you guys, because again, the urges, when I ski, I still need to take my ski pole. I go to a very steep double black, and I have the ski pole facing down the mountain. That way it gets my weight on my lower ski, and I ski along the side of the mountain, picking up my upper ski. And that helps me create an edge in my lower ski. And then when I turn, put the ski down here and I pick the ski up. And that helps me create an edge. And if you create an edge in skiing, it's a lot better than not having an edge. Otherwise you just slide down. It's not good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move in. Why don't you guys come out this side? Because you'll see a little bit more. How are we doing for time, Blake? Another 10 minutes. That's all.
All right. Yeah, that'll push. We'll be all right.
I'm just aiming at the range, guys. Don't take dead aim. Really, if you want to feel this, okay? So again, what I'm trying to feel, if this is my front foot, if I did take a little step, it would be outside my left shoulder, a little more open, because I want that left foot staying flat, because if it rolls, you're going to feel vulnerable. And as I load, you can see I don't have any weight displacement. my chest loading, and I'm right there. I just think over the last couple of months I've been loading a little bit this way, and then I'm playing catch up. My arms are growing and stuff, which is not good. So what I'm doing, you can see how there I am there, right? See, I've got my weight a little more forward, so I'm going to load. Okay. So notice how my left foot's flat. I'm not worried about the golf shot. The left foot's flat. You can see all my spikes, right, Brett? And my chest and everything is probably what, about a foot or 18 inches past the ball. Would you agree? But guess what, Damon? At the moment of impact, my body and head were still behind the ball. So the hand is quicker than the eye. And what golfers have been taught to do is keep their heads down, follow through, and all that crap, and it doesn't work. That's why Robin Williams said, that's why they call it a stroke. Because every time you hit it, you think you're going to fucking die. And they put shit in the way. Right? That's why it was so funny, because that's the harsh reality. Now that first, notice, Gary, that there was the ball, and there's the divot. That's the beautiful thing about golf. If you hit the small ball, the big ball, before the small ball, it's not good. If the body's back, I'm giving you, hopefully, is everybody with me? I'm not being too complicated, am I? Hopefully, because my job is to communicate. I want to try help you guys, and that's why we're doing this video, because somehow we got to get this video to everybody. We need to get this app going, because if some people then turn around and go, well, you know, if you know so much about this, Wayne, how come you're not on the tour kicking ass? It's because I worked on more moves than a can of worms, okay? And I went to every conceivable golf instructor known to man, and I spent my old man's money there. So it was called paralysis of analysis. And I went to sports psychologists. Bob Rotella, being there too. I was searching for all the help. But my dad always said to me, he said, let me tell you something, my son. You're not working on the right fundamentals. If you do not work on the right fundamentals, it's amazing how negative you will become. If you work on the right fundamentals, it's amazing how positive you will become. And that's what happens in the game. The guys got their sport, they got their sports psychologist, they got their new coach. The coach is there because he wants to be able to charge you a couple of grand to come to his golf school. He's looking for all the exposure. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's all smoke, right? So aim at the range. A good idea to help you guys if you're over there on the range and you want to tee. I would say tee up balls, Brett. You know, get as many tees, fill the back of the bag up with tees. If you want your kids to enjoy golf, tee the ball up. It's like having a helper wheel on a bike.